off with an opening statement.
Sure. Well, first of all, good to see everyone. I know it's been a fast summer for everyone. I think everyone's really excited to play. But going into the first games are always the games of the unknown. And I think really the landscape and dynamic of college football now, when you talk about the game of the unknown, it's not just about your opponent, but I think it's about your current team as well. And so we continue to be work in progress. I think the biggest thing for us is what does winning football look like? Before you can win the game, you have to not lose the game. And so, really, what does it take to play winning football? Your pride in your preparation leads to pride in your performance, all those little things that go into it. And then I think when you look at game one on top of the unknowns, we're playing a football team and a football program that knows how to win in SEMO. They were a playoff team last year. They were a champion in their conference, and they've had success, and their players and their program know what winning football looks like. And so I think, with this football team with 70 newcomers, you can't take anything for granted, right down to, situational mastery of the different situations that go into the game. But, the first things first, who are we? What we're about. This is the infant stages of building our identity of who we are and what we want to become. I think we've had a very productive training camp, but again, you're never going to really know until the in-game management comes on. Now there's consequences for your actions, for your discipline, for your details, for your execution. And that's what makes the first game exciting, but also I'll know a little bit more of where we're at after game one and moving forward.
We'll open up now for questions. For our media, use the raise hand function. We'll call on you. We'll start it off with Luke Matheson.
Coach, in the past, you've always mentioned winning a player-led team, and this is a year that you're turning a lot of your guys that have been here since day one. In that sense, how has this fall camp been compared to previous fall camps where you're really rebuilding, and now this you got some guys on the back?
Well, you broke up a little bit, Luke, but I think I understand your question. And I think it's a really good question. And I think, everything we do is based off of connectivity and synergy and understanding what it takes to play complementary football and really being 11 for 11 and all that goes into it. And so we've worked really hard on that. But again, you really never know about your team chemistry being a player-led team until really you go through some adversity. Adversity really kind of exposes who you are, exposes your leadership. And all of us in college football are going to really go through the natural adversities that a long football season brings about. So, how adaptable are you to be able to manage those long adversities, those adversities of a season? We've tried to kind of manufacture those throughout the course of training camp, but you really don't know until you have that. But, we worked hard on our connection. I'll give you an example. We had our only day off on Saturday, and I'm sitting at my house and had over 40 individuals show up at my house to go swimming and hang out with each other. So as a coach, you kind of want that quiet time, but that's a good problem. We had over 40 individuals show up at my house. So I think they're trying. I think they really invested in each other. But again, you never really know until you're in it for real. And in a few days, it's going to be for real.
Go over to Chris.
Hey, Coach, how do you feel about your offensive line now compared to the start of camp? I know there was at one point you were still trying to work through figuring out who your top 5, 10, so on and so on.
Well, I think they still continue to be work in progress. And we have a number of individuals that are still battling for the starting positions. I think when you really look at our depth chart on both sides of the ball, we really don't have at a lot of positions clear-cut starters, which I think we have more depth than we've ever had in our program. So they'll continue to compete. I think the biggest thing for us is what 5 individuals work well together. But then, like we always talk about who's your number 6, who's your number 7, who's your number 8. Those are every bit as vital as your first 5. And so you could never have enough quality depth. I think we've really tried to recruit that. But we still have some position battles, and who knows, they may compete all the way through pregame warmups. And, really a depth chart doesn't mean anything. It's just really who runs out there for the first play of the game. So we'll know more, but I've liked their work. I think they've worked really hard. I think they're working well together. But we'll continue to evaluate that group throughout the course of preparation this week and really into every week.
Let's go back over to Luke.
Coach, you touched on SEMO a little bit. What are you seeing out of them that you need to see your guys take care of this week? And kind of a two-part question here. For offense, defense, special teams, all 3 phases of the game, what do you need to see this week that you guys are headed in the right direction?
Well, I think first of all, it starts with us, and it starts obviously with a lot of things, and it starts first and foremost with taking care of the football. When you look at the first games, the games of the unknowns, it usually comes down to your eye discipline, missed tackles, taking care of the football, special teams, explosive plays, things like that. I think the ability to handle situations and the ebbs and flows of a game. So I think there's a lot that goes into the first game. So as a coach, you try to really expose them to everything. But for us, obviously, it starts with taking the football away, tackling in space. They're going to challenge us. They have a quarterback that's 6'8". He can hang in the pocket. He can throw the football. Defensively, their entire defensive line is back. They're very talented in the back end. So again, it's going to be a great challenge against a quality opponent. But, it really starts with taking care of us first and foremost. And again, the small details, the meticulous attention, the details that it takes to play winning football.
Thanks, Coach Jones. Appreciate your time.